Right before our engagement, my apartment caught fire. The windows exploded, sending shards of glass deep into my body. My best friend, Leo, shielded me as we escaped the blaze. At the hospital, while I was hovering on the brink of death, he called my fiancée, Diana. She was completely dismissive. Adrian has an upset stomach, so I'm with him while he gets him for. If that's all, I'm hanging up. Leo was furious and cursed her out before calling his own girlfriend, Sophia, to ask for help finding a specialist. Her response was just as bad. Can you stop being so dramatic? Adrian isn't feeling well, and I'm trying to find him a holistic doctor. When I finally pulled back from death's door, Leo and I looked at each other, and I said in a heavy voice, I want to call off the engagement. Without a moment's hesitation, Leo replied, if you're calling it off, so am I. And just like that, both of those women started to panic. Leo was a man of action. He immediately sent Sophia a breakup text. I was still stuck in bed. After the surgery to clean out the wounds, the doctor said a few of the glass shards had gone so deep that I wasn't out of the woods yet. Leo was the only one by my side, and he had his own injuries from the fire. We were truly brothers in adversity. The engagement party was the next day. I was still in the ICU, so obviously I couldn't be there. Diana called, and her first words were an attack. Frank, are you doing this on purpose? Just because I was with Adrian yesterday, you decide to bail on our engagement party today? Do you have any idea how many people are here? My throat was raw, and I had to cough a couple of times just to speak. I'm in a hospital. I can't make it. I already told you. Frank, you've used that excuse before. Enough is enough. Where are you? I'll come get you. I'm at Cedars-Sinai. Come on over. Frank. Diana's voice was sharp with anger. You're going to regret this. The party starts in an hour. Don't bother showing up if you're late. Leo, who was standing beside me, absolutely lost it. He snatched the phone from my hand and screamed into it. Regret my ass. Are you too blind and deaf? Can't you hear he's in the damn hospital? You're so worked up over Adrian's little stomach ache. Is he your sugar daddy or something? You're waiting on him hand and foot. The line went dead. Leo wasn't finished venting, pacing furiously around the room. Then his phone rang. It was Sophia. Leo, where are you? We're supposed to be meeting my parents today. I sent you the address. Are you seriously standing me up? Leo's fuse was lit all over again. He laid into her. Meet your parents? Sophia, I broke up with you last night. A good ex is a ghost. You want to come see you? The only reason I'd come is to lay flowers on your grave. Sophia was so furious she was sputtering. Leo, you'll regret this. Fine, we're done. But Leo had already blocked her number. He turned to me, patting his chest. My situation is handled. You need to wait until you're stronger to deal with yours. Otherwise, they're going to give you a heart attack. I couldn't help but let out a weak laugh. Thank God I had Leo with me. My not showing up must have really embarrassed Diana. She kept calling, but I didn't pick up. Eventually, I just silenced my phone, ignoring her calls and the flood of texts. After the third missed call, Diana couldn't hold back any longer and sent me an ultimatum via text. Frank, you have no respect for the situation. I didn't reply. The whole engagement party was orchestrated by her family, the Hamiltons, from the start. My parents divorced and remarried years ago. While I wasn't the center of their new lives, they always made sure I was financially supported. I had already told them to cancel their flights after the fire. But Diana refused to listen, and if she wasn't going to believe me, I saw no reason to beg her to. I just never imagined she would actually find a stand-in to go through with the ceremony. I guess she really didn't care about her reputation at all. While a nurse was changing my bandages, I overheard her and a colleague talking about Diana's party. Dr. Hamilton is getting engaged today. I heard her fiancé is gorgeous, totally the kind, gentle type. She's so lucky. Look, here's a picture of them. During a pause in the dressing change, I glanced up at the phone. The man in the photo was Adrian. He and Diana were standing together, her head resting on his shoulder, beaming. They actually looked like a perfect couple. I blinked, and the nurse looked at me with concern. Did I hurt you? I'll be more gentle. My eyes started to water. Yeah, it hurts. I almost couldn't take it. Leo reached out and squeezed my hand. I shook my head, trying to reassure him. It's fine. I can handle the pain. The truth was it was agonizing. But compared to the pain Diana had caused me, this physical agony was nothing. When we were alone in the room, Leo tried to cheer me up. Those two scumbags deserve each other. Don't even think about them. Then he changed the subject. Oh, and get this. That moron Sophia called me to say she made me seafood paella. I'm allergic to shellfish. I've told her 1,000 times. We're broken up. Is she insane? I managed a small laugh. She just doesn't care, Leo. She never paid attention. If it were for someone else, you know she'd remember. Leo nodded, the point hitting home. Whatever. Let's not talk about her. He pulled out his tablet to show me a video. You gotta see this TikToker I've been watching. She's hilarious. She goes around doing man-on-the-street interviews, and his people try these mochi balls with mystery fillings. It's great. He quickly found the creator's page and clicked on her profile. She was live, and the person on screen being interviewed was none other than his too busy ex-girlfriend, Sophia. The TikToker said, "Here's a mochi ball. After you eat it, what message do you have for the camera?" Sophia downed the sour plum mochi in a couple of bites, her face twisting from the taste, but she forced a smile and said, "I hope the next person gets a rose-flavored one. And I really hope that person is you, Adrian. You can do it." She made a heart shape with her hands for the camera. I was about to scroll away, but Leo stopped me. He started furiously typing in the live chat. "You know perfectly well Adrian likes rose filling, but you can't remember your own boyfriend's seafood allergy." His comment was quickly lost in the flood of others. I put a hand on his arm. "We don't need them in our lives, man." Leo nodded again and again, but the TikToker had over 4 million followers, and it didn't take long for people to recognize Sophia. "Isn't that the Walton family's princess? She's loaded." The guy Miss Walton just shouted out is so lucky. "My queen, I've been waiting. When can I start serving you?" The internet started making memes, and Sophia went viral overnight. People were commenting about how much they envied this Adrian guy. Then, Adrian himself posted a photo on Twitter with a caption, "Got my rose-flavored mochi. Happiness is when your wishes come true." The picture was of a beautifully arranged plate of rose pastries, with Sophia sitting right beside it. Seeing this, Leo scoffed. "What a simp." I couldn't help but laugh. He was right. Both of them were revolving around Adrian, and it was hard to say which one of them was winning. Or maybe, in the end, neither of them would. I try not to think about it. Diana had used Adrian as a stand-in for our engagement, so I figured we were officially over. I made a mental note to pack up her things at my apartment and return them once I was discharged. She had given me some expensive gifts over the years, and I wasn't about to keep them. 48 hours later, I was moved out of the ICU into a regular room. My attending physician came by to check on me. He shook his head in amazement. "You're one lucky man. A piece of glass pierced your heart. Any deeper, and you wouldn't have made it. From now on, you need to avoid any emotional distress. Just focus on healing." "Thank you, doctor." The doctor had barely left the room when my phone rang. It was Diana, calling from her office line. I was surprised. I'd forgotten to block that number. I had no choice but to answer. "You saw the pictures, I assume. If Adrian hadn't stepped in, the whole party would have been a disaster. Now that you've had your little tantrum, it's time to come back." I almost laughed. "Diana, I can't come back. What is it that you want?" Her voice rose sharply. "I already told my parents that even though you weren't there, you're still my fiancé. If you keep acting like this, we are finished for good." "Diana, did you ever believe a word I said? The fire, the explosion, the fact that I'm lying in a hospital bed right now. If you'd paid the slightest bit of attention, you'd know it was on the local news." She let out a cold laugh. "You're just mad that I was with Adrian. Is that why you're pretending to be in the hospital?" "Oh, really? Then tell me, which hospital? Who's your doctor? What's the diagnosis?" I took a deep breath. "I'm in the surgical ward at Cedars-Sinai, room 24. Why don't you come see for yourself? My doctor is still on his rounds." "Fine, you just wait. I'm on my way." Diana was the head of the surgical department. She had to have known about a major trauma case on her floor. But since she wasn't my direct physician, and she was so preoccupied with her party, she never realized I was right under her nose the whole time. Half an hour later, Diana showed up, and Adrian was with her. They were instantly recognized in the hallway. I was resting with my eyes closed when I heard a loud, theatrical cheer from outside my door. Dr. Hamilton brought her fiancé. "They're so cute. Seriously, get a room, you two. He's even better looking in person than in the pictures." Dr. Hamilton is so lucky. I opened my eyes, listening to the commotion. The irony was thick enough to cut with a knife. They had no idea her fiancé was just a last-minute replacement. But then again, I had already decided to end things with Diana. I wasn't the real fiancé anymore. In a way, the people outside weren't wrong. They were, for all intents and purposes, an engaged couple now. It was public. Diana gave a few curt replies, but Adrian sounded bashful and pleased, clearly reveling in the attention. "Thank you all for taking such good care of my Diana," Adrian said. "I ordered coffee for everyone. It should be here soon." "Oh, Dr. Hamilton, he's so handsome and thoughtful." The praise made Adrian's day. When he appeared at the door of my room, arm in arm with Diana, his face was a mask of smug satisfaction, his eyes full of challenge. Diana, however, froze when she saw me. She clearly hadn't believed I was really here. Then her eyes narrowed as she took in my private room. "Do you have any idea how few beds we have in the surgical ward? You're wasting hospital resources just to get back at me." "Get back at you?" I looked up, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Who do you think you are? You're not important enough for me to go to all this trouble. Frank, I'm right here. You don't need to shout. We are over. He's your fiancé now. Are you two here to rub it in my face? If so, congratulations. You two scumbags deserve each other. Diana's face flushed with anger. How dare you talk to me like that? Apologize. I stared right back at her. Apologize? Not a chance in hell. She looked ready to explode, but Adrian held her back. Diana, don't. Mr. Miller is just upset. He's not well. Let's not push him. I think he's doing this on purpose, she seethed. Who's his attending physician? How could they go along with this charade? I gave her a flat look. Diana, are you finished? You're not my doctor, so stop talking. I already told you we're done, but you won't leave me alone. You're the one, two-timing me. Have you no shame? Diana raised her hand to slap me. I leaned back, dodging the blow, and slammed the nurse call button. Then, as she stared at me in shock, I raised my own hand and slapped her across the face. Adrian was stunned. He rushed to Diana's side, cupping her face with concern. He turned on me. How could you do that? Diana heard you were hurt and came running over, and you hit her. She started it, and I didn't invite either of you here. I shook out my stinging hand, my eyes fixed on him. Diana's lips trembled, and a muscle in her cheek twitched. A red handprint was already forming on her face. I looked at her. Diana, you see? Now get out. I'm done talking to you. I had told them to leave, but they wouldn't budge. I could see the anger flaring in Diana's eyes. Just then, my doctor walked in, drawn by the noise. He glanced at me, then at my heart monitor. I told you to keep calm. Look at these readings. They're through the roof. I looked over and saw the monitor beeping frantically. My gaze fell on Diana, my expression hardening. The doctor then noticed her, and his eyes widened. Dr. Hamilton, what happened to your face? The red mark on her cheek was impossible to miss. His eyes darted between me and Diana, a look of disbelief on his face. Diana frowned at him. You're his doctor? Is he actually hurt? Yes, he's severely injured, the doctor said, his tone professional but firm. There was an explosion. His body was riddled with glass shards. Several pieces lodged in his heart. He nearly bled to death on the table. We were in surgery for over 10 hours to save him, and now he has a condition where any emotional distress is dangerous. The doctor turned to me. You need to stay calm. Who upset you like this? I leaned back against my pillows, a smirk playing on my lips as I looked at Diana. I tilted my chin towards her. Who else? She barged in here like a crazy person, accusing me of wasting a hospital bed. Dr. Hamilton, I said, my voice low, don't you think you owe me an apology? My doctor froze, unsure of what to do. Diana's face went pale, and for a second, I saw a flash of guilt in her eyes. Adrian jumped in to explain. It's all a misunderstanding. Diana just couldn't believe you were actually hurt. Then he added, besides, how did your apartment catch on fire anyway? I raised an eyebrow. How did you know it was my apartment that caught fire? I never mentioned that. Adrian's face went white. I was just guessing. I let out a cold laugh. He quickly recovered. Even if you didn't want to see her, you shouldn't have resorted to violence. So, you're saying I should have hit you instead? Adrian's face flushed. I snorted and turned my attention back to Diana. When I called you from the ambulance, bleeding out, you told me to stop faking it because you were with Adrian for his 4 drip. What kind of stomach bug requires your constant attention for days on end? Diana was speechless. The doctor looked from her to me, his expression a mixture of shock and embarrassment. Well, Dr. Hamilton, I have other patients to see. He turned to me one last time. Frank, please try to stay calm. Remember what I said. I nodded, already feeling a bit better. But, doctor, if I do get upset again, would hitting someone to relieve the stress be an acceptable treatment? He did not expect that question and nearly tripped on his way out the door. Sure. In moderation. One was his patient, the other was his boss, and they clearly had a complicated history. From the sounds of it, Dr. Hamilton had done Frank wrong. The doctor figured it was best to let him vent. He made a hasty exit, leaving the 3 of us alone in the room. Adrian looked at me, a faint, almost invisible smirk playing on his lips. Frank, I know you don't like me, but it wasn't my fault. Diana was just trying to take care of me. He was clearly trying to get a rise out of me. I looked at Diana, my face a blank mask. Can you please leave now? I'm sorry. I looked up stunned. Diana had actually apologized. Even Adrian looked shocked. I'm sorry, she said, her voice quiet. I neglected you. I thought you were lying to me that day. I always thought you were just jealous of Adrian, so I cut her off. Don't. A late apology is worthless. I've already decided we're through. Don't come here again. Besides, you two are a publicly engaged couple now. I looked at her, a mocking smile on my face. I saved all those pictures and videos from the party. If you bother me again, I won't hesitate to use them. But Diana didn't get angry. No matter what you say, I was wrong to doubt you. I'm sorry, and I'll make it up to you. I just scoffed and looked away. Who needed her pity? Did she really think that would fix anything? A flicker of contempt crossed my face. I glanced at Adrian, who was glaring at me. I smiled and reached for the call button again. If you don't leave now, things are going to get ugly. You wouldn't want this little drama to blow up online, with you cast as the homewrecker, would you? Adrian was too furious to speak and just tugged on Diana's arm. He's not a homewrecker, Diana insisted, but he acted like one. I shot back. How many times, Diana? How many times did you choose him over me? Always using the excuse that you were just friends, leaving me behind without a second thought. And you, Adrian, I continued, you knew she was my girlfriend, but you never left her alone. I have to ask, do you not have any friends of your own? His eyes immediately welled up with tears. How could you say something so cruel? I just snorted and watched his performance. I used to get hysterical, acting like a lunatic every time I fought with Diana about him. I've been disappointed too many times. I am tired. I was ready to let her go, but now, suddenly, she's changed her mind. I'm sorry, she repeated. I was insensitive to your feelings. I'll make it up to you. Adrian looked completely floored. I was just annoyed. It's too late. I'm the one breaking up with you. Now please just go. Adrian gritted his teeth. Diana, he obviously doesn't want to see us. We should go. He's not supposed to get worked up. We can come back in a couple of days. Give him some time to think things through. I didn't have the energy to argue anymore, so I just closed my eyes. But she didn't move. She just kept staring at me. I'm sorry, she said again, but I'm not leaving. I opened my eyes, my patience gone. Don't mistake my silence for forgiveness. Uncharacteristically, Diana didn't get angry. I know I handled things badly, she said calmly. But the date was set months ago. If you didn't show up, how was that supposed to make me look? Adrian was just helping me out. I told everyone you were stuck on a business trip overseas and couldn't get back in time. So you didn't think to postpone it? I'm pretty sure the Hamilton family has enough influence to manage that. I opened my eyes and stared at her. Diana, what on earth makes you think I'd still be waiting for you after all this? Get out now, or I'm calling security. I pressed the call button, but it wasn't a nurse who answered. It was Leo. He'd been getting his own bandages changed and had grabbed some food. He'd just gotten back and heard the commotion, and now he saw the two of them standing there. The container of soup in his hand went flying, splashing all over them. You two pieces of trash. You actually dared to show your faces here again. Adrian, who took the brunt of the hot soup, shrieked. Are you insane? Yeah, I'm insane. Leo roared back. Weren't you having a life-threatening stomach ache the other day? Too bad it wasn't fatal. And you, Diana, while Frank was dying in that fire, where were you? You didn't believe he was hurt then, so why are you pretending to care now? Get out. Both of you get the hell out. Leo's voice echoed down the hall, and heads popped out of doorways. Everyone saw him drag soup-covered Adrian out of my room. They were stunned. Even Diana seemed taken aback by his ferocity, but she remained calm. I'll come back another time, she said. Don't bother. Leo yelled after her. You're engaged to him now, so stop harassing Frank. He must have been blind to ever fall for you. You left him for this guy on your engagement day, and now you have the nerve to come back here asking for forgiveness. He called you when he was bleeding to death, and you were holding this clown's hand while he got in 4. You made your choice, so stick with it. Stop with this pathetic act and get lost. Leo followed them down the hall, shouting out every detail of what they had done. The looks people were giving them turned from curiosity to contempt. Diana, undeterred, called back towards my room. Frank, I'll be in my office. I could be here in a minute if you need anything. Adrian stared at her, incredulous. You're staying? Yes. Frank is my responsibility. Adrian, you should go home. Leo let out a derisive laugh. You hear that, buddy? The other man is always just the other man. You really thought you were an official replacement? You were just a stand-in. But our Frank isn't a dumpster for you to leave your trash in. You can have him. Then Leo turned to the crowd of nurses and doctors. And if she comes near this room again, I'm filing a formal complaint against this entire hospital and everyone in it. A wave of panic went through the onlookers. Diana's face was grim. She was one of the most respected surgeons in this hospital, and Leo was publicly humiliating her, exposing everything. She couldn't stay a moment longer and quickly dragged Adrian away. Leo came back into the room, thoroughly satisfied. I should have slapped her myself, he said. And that soup was a waste. I should have bought something much hotter. I laughed and gave him a thumbs up. That was a perfect shot. You should have seen Adrian's face. He was furious, but too scared to say anything. I wanted to punch that guy for months, and I finally got my chance. My only regret, I said, is that I'm stuck in this bed. Otherwise, I would have gotten up and slapped him myself. Leo raised an eyebrow. Diana's face looked a little red too. Was that you? I nodded. His eyes lit up. Badass. That's my boy. We looked at each other and smiled. Having Leo here made everything feel more bearable. I still couldn't believe how shameless Diana was, showing up and acting like she'd done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, Leo was having his own problems with Sophia. Someone had filmed Leo's tirade in the hallway, and the video ended up online. Diana and Adrian were instantly recognized. It didn't take long for internet sleuths to connect the dots to Sophia and her public crush on Adrian. Suddenly, everyone online was piecing together the whole sordid affair. This is so gross. I thought she was some kind of romantic. Turns out she's just a simp. How's that rose machi taste, Adrian? Must feel great having two women ditch their partners for you. This is a whole new level of disgusting. Her fiancé is in the hospital and she can't even postpone the party. She has to find a stand-in. These people are sick in the head. Sophia never expected her viral moment to come back and bite her. By the time she contacted the TikToker to take the video down, it had been mirrored and shared thousands of times. Desperate, she tried to get back together with Leo. He wasn't having it. He posted screenshots of their old iMessage arguments, where she had said some truly awful things while defending Adrian. The internet mob turned on her again, and she couldn't handle it. She begged Leo for forgiveness, asking for another chance. She even contacted his boss to try and pressure him. That was the last straw. Leo quit his job on the spot, went straight to the lobby of her family's company, and started a live broadcast on Instagram. Sophia Walton, you are the definition of shameless, he yelled into his phone. Isn't Adrian your one true love? You were all over him, and now that he's getting canceled, you're trying to distance yourself? You are the most selfish person I have ever met. We are broken up. Stop harassing me. It's a little late to try and fix things now, isn't it? And your family, the Waltons, they're pathetic for letting a brainless idiot like you tarnish their name. Sophia, if you contact me one more time, I will expose every single shady thing you've ever done. The Walton family, facing a PR nightmare, ordered Sophia to leave the country until the scandal died down. But Sophia was obsessed with getting Leo back and refused to give up, no matter what he said. Leo got so angry he told me he felt like he was going to snap. He ended up going back to his parents' house for a while just to get away from her. As for me, I was getting tired of it all. Diana used her position at the hospital to take over my care, insisting she was the only one qualified. I'd be scrolling on my phone, and she'd be sitting right next to me, poring over my charts. Diana, this is pointless. Stop wasting your time. But she just said in a cold, determined voice, no, I know I was wrong. I neglected you. From now on, I'm going to make it up to you. I'll be here every day. I finally looked up from my phone. And what about Adrian? You two are engaged, remember? I told you he was just helping me. You are the only man the Hamilton family will ever accept as my husband. No one can replace you. I had to laugh. So now she realized I was irreplaceable? Where was this energy before? It was pathetic. I took a deep breath. Let's be clear. I've already told you the engagement is off. My parents are fine with it. But Diana just picked up an apple and started peeling it. Her grip so tight, she was carving away half the fruit with the skin. I'm the one who called you countless times, I said, telling you how unfair it was, how much he was hurting me. You ignored me every single time, where you told me I was being irrational. It was always clear how important Adrian was to you. But now that I think about it, I was wrong. I always thought he was the third person in our relationship, but he wasn't. At this, Diana looked up, a hopeful light in her eyes. I smiled faintly, took the mangled apple from her, and started peeling it properly myself. Have you ever considered, Diana, that the problem was always you? You enjoyed the security I gave you, but you couldn't let go of Adrian. Do you actually love me? I doubt it. No, that's not true, she protested. Then you love me? If you loved me, why am I lying in this hospital bed alone? My voice was heavy with sarcasm. She looked utterly defeated. Don't come back. I'm being discharged tomorrow. I looked at her. Her face was pale. No, you can't be. I gave a small, tired smile. Let's just end this peacefully. Let me go and let yourself go. Otherwise, I promise, you'll regret it. Before, I was the one caught in a trap, constantly competing with Adrian for her attention. I thought if I made enough noise, she would finally choose me. But now I realize, why should I have to scream to be heard? I am who I am. I don't need to diminish myself for anyone, and I certainly don't need to chase after someone who doesn't want me. If she doesn't want me, I'll find someone who does. There are plenty of other women in the world. I still have my pride. But Diana never got it. She thought I was just throwing a tantrum, that I was so heartbroken I was trying to hurt her by breaking up. The truth is, I just wanted to be free. Who Diana ends up with is her problem, not mine. Since she wouldn't let go, I stopped being polite. I posted the photos of her and Adrian at the engagement party on Twitter. I tagged the hospital and wrote, "Dr. Hamilton, I know you're a very busy woman, but please stop harassing me." I also filed a formal complaint with the hospital's administration. She'd had plenty of chances to clear the air about the engagement party. Instead, she let the rumors fly, which only boosted Adrian's online profile. Since she saw nothing wrong with that, I decided to make her famous for it and let the public decide who was right. I played my trump card. I posted screenshots of texts and call logs showing all the times she ditched me to be with Adrian. The internet dubbed her a master of time management. The comments were brutal. Imagine being the other woman in your own relationship and still having the nerve to show your face. Who is a stand-in at their own engagement party? If I'm busy on my wedding day, can I just send a replacement? This just proves she never cared about him at all. And now she's trying to win him back? It's way too late for a redemption arc. My post blew up. Given Diana's high-profile position, the hospital had no choice but to suspend her pending an internal investigation. After I was discharged, Leo moved in with me. He'd already told his parents he was done with Sophia for good. They agreed they didn't want someone so disloyal in their family. Leo threw an arm around my shoulders and laughed. Man, I felt so good after telling them off. And get this, after that live stream, I gained like 300,000 followers on Insta. I've even had brands reach out about sponsorships. Should I do it? As long as they're legit companies, why not? I said, don't turn down good money. Besides, we both need a fresh start. You're right, he said. We do need a fresh start. I'm done with the Waltons. As for Diana, have you dealt with her? I sighed. It was complicated. Diana was incredibly stubborn. Before, she wouldn't believe a word I said. Now that I wanted out, she refused to let me go. Looking back, I honestly couldn't remember what I ever saw in her. Not long after I moved into the new apartment Leo and I rented, Diana found me. I have no idea how. She started waiting outside the building, knowing I wouldn't let her in. She'd stand out there all day and into the night, refusing to leave. This went on for a week. Every night, I'd look out the window and see the tiny red glow of a cigarette in her car. Diana never used to smoke. As a surgeon, she always said her senses were her most important tools, and she avoided any bad habits. But now, she was chain-smoking in her car. It wasn't my problem, though. I took a picture of her car and sent it to Adrian with the message, "Come get your girl." He blew up my phone. "Are you happy now, Frank? You won. You turned me into a public villain. I hope you're satisfied." "Not even close." I texted back, "Because you're both still in my life. Get her out of here, or I'll release everything else I have and make sure you're canceled for good." He must have believed I had more dirt on him, because he showed up 30 minutes later. I watched from my window as they argued on the sidewalk below. Diana looked up, and our eyes met. I held her gaze for a second, my face blank, then I turned and closed the blinds. While I looked again later, her car was gone. I didn't see her after that, but I heard that even after her suspension, her reputation at the hospital was in tatters. Patients and their families had filed complaints about her lack of professionalism, so the hospital couldn't just let her go back to her old job. They reassigned her to an administrative role in the records department. She might have been a brilliant surgeon, but her people skills were terrible. After the huge scene she'd caused while I was a patient, everyone knew the story. No one respected her authority anymore. The once revered head of surgery was now a nobody. The fall from grace was too much for her to handle, and she started drinking heavily. Not a good habit for a surgeon to pick up. I didn't pay it much mind. One weekend, I went back to my old apartment to clear out the last of my things. The moment I walked in the door of my new place, my phone rang. It was Diana. "Frank, do you hate me that much?" she asked, her voice thick. "You took everything. You didn't leave a single thing for me to remember you by." I pressed my lips together. "Don't look for me again, Diana. The apartment is empty. I've moved on. Where are you? I'll come to you. Don't bother." I hung up. A few minutes later, Leo and I were dragging our suitcases to the airport. We had made a pact to travel for a while, and if we found a place we liked, we'd stay. I never really liked Los Angeles anyway. I had only stayed for Diana. Now that we were done, there was no reason to stick around. At the airport, we saw Sophia. She was being escorted by 2 large bodyguards, clearly being forced onto a plane by her family. The moment she spotted Leo, she started struggling to get to him, but the men held her fast. Her father slapped her hard across the face. "You didn't appreciate him when you had him," he roared. "Who is this pathetic act for? You'll go to London, and you will behave. If you cause any more trouble for this family, you will never be allowed to come home." "Lau! Lau!" Sophia screamed his name, but one of the bodyguards covered her mouth and pushed her toward the jet bridge. Leo watched, his face unreadable. "You know," he said quietly, "the Waltons offered Adrian $5 million to stay away from her for good. The greedy bastard took the money and promised to disappear. but he kept contacting her behind their backs. That's why they're shipping her off now. They got the money back, though. He shook his head. Still, they should have offered that money to me. What a waste. I couldn't help but laugh at the look on his face. Right before we boarded, I got a text. It was from Diana. Frank, you're never going to forgive me, are you? I know I broke your heart. I'm going to show you how sorry I am with my actions. The woman was insane. I didn't reply, just turned off my phone. We landed in Denver, and on the way to the hotel, Leo suddenly gasped. Oh my God, Frank, you have to see this. He shoved his phone in my face. I stared at the headline, stunned. Diana had gone to Adrian's apartment, shattered his glass coffee table, and shoved his face into the broken shards. The article said she'd had a psychotic break. Adrian was seriously injured. His face was completely disfigured. Leo looked grimly satisfied. Well, he won't be charming anyone with that face anymore. Diana's a surgeon. She knew exactly where to cut to cause permanent damage. The report says she used a piece of glass on him. The cuts were deep enough to show bone. He must have been in agony. Even with plastic surgery, his face is ruined. The article says he's prone to keloid scarring, so he'll never look the same. Diana was arrested for assault, but she was released to a psychiatric facility due to her mental state. All those years the Hamiltons had invested in her medical career, all ruined over a man. They hated Adrian for it, but in their anger, they completely ignored how sick Diana had become. The day Adrian was released from the hospital, Diana went back to his apartment and set it on fire. He was severely burned. In the end, trapped by the flames, he pulled her into the fire with him. By the time the news reported their deaths, Leo and I were already in a new city, on our way to the next destination. The view ahead was much brighter.